We are attempting to do every round, unless we forget, Luke's rider ratings. Sorry about that. Basically, Luke turns the tables, flips the charts, and reveals what he thinks about how everybody did in MotoGP. And then we all basically slag him off. So, yeah. Luke, I guess, you can tell us, in reverse order, to make it more exciting and full of tension, your MotoGP Circuit of the Americas rider ratings.
So, at the bottom, we have Alex Marquez with a 1 out of 10.
Whoa!
I got 1. Right?
Yeah, started 23rd, didn't finish. He's having an awful season. If I gave 0 points, he would have got 0 points. It was an awful weekend for Alex.
You savage bitch.
For Zeki, I gave a 2 out of 10, purely because he started 16th as a rookie around Kota on an older Ducati. I think he's on the 2021 model. So I was impressed with that. Obviously, he crashed out of the race. I'm not sure if it was a technical issue that came after his crash or from before, because obviously he was his bike was smoking when he rejoined. So there's that. Darren Binder, I gave a 2 out of 10. This might be Darren's worst result in MotoGP so far, with a 22nd place finish. Dead last, but he did have also issues with his bike. I think it was sensor related from what I heard, but again, he wasn't doing too well before he pulled into the pits anyway. Marini, I gave him a 2 out of 10 as well. He started 10th and he looked hopeful. Marini's qualifying is much better than his race pace. He finished 17th. It just wasn't a good performance from Marini overall after what looked like it could be a promising weekend. Fabio Di Giannantonio, I gave him a 2 out of 10 as well. Started 18th, finished 21st. Again, a rookie. He's on an older Ducati as well. Still not as bad as Alex Marquez. Franco Morbidelli, I gave a 2.5 out of 10. Started 19th, finished 16th. Can't tell what's going on with Franco. I don't know if it's still injury related, if he just can't figure out the Yamaha, but something's not right for someone who finished second in the world in 2020, I believe. Miguel Oliveira, 2.5 out of 10. Finished 18th, started 20th. The KTMs didn't go very well around Kota, but I expected more from KTM and Oliveira as a whole, as he is the most experienced MotoGP KTM rider on the grid. Taka Nakagami, I gave him a 3 out of 10.
Great.
Started, well, he finished 14th. He got himself some points. So for how Taka's season's gone, it's a decent result for him. Remy Gardner, I gave a 3.5 out of 10, purely because he got beaten by his teammate just a little bit.
Yeah, but he finished in 20th.
Finished 20th, but I'm thinking more the rookies on a KTM, whereas Oliveira finished 18th, so really he wasn't too far behind an experienced KTM rider, so I thought that was a good showing from the rookies of Fernandez and Gardner. Fernandez I gave a 4, purely because he was right behind Oliveira. Good result, really, when you think he's a rookie and he's staying with the most experienced KTM rider in MotoGP. Paulus Bargrove, I gave a 4 out of 10. It was going to be lower because of how bad of a weekend he had. Finished 13th, should have been higher. But when you take into account that he had been struggling with an illness all weekend, which had been holding him back, it wasn't a great result, but still, it is damage limitation really for his season, I guess. Dovi, I gave Dovi a 4.5 out of 10. He actually looked okay throughout the whole weekend. Started 15th, finished 15th, got himself a point. Obviously, the bike we know and the team that he's in isn't going to fight at the front, so 15th place for Dovi is good for the machine he's on. Zarko, I gave Zarko a 5 out of 10. It was a very average weekend for Zarko. Started 4th, finished 9th. It looked like tyre wear maybe slowed him down in the later stages of the race. He's also now been made Ducati's test rider during a race weekend. So if they have any parts, Zarko has to use it. So I'm not sure if there's something in that as well. Martin, I gave a 5.5 out of 10 purely because he got pole, dropped down to 8th, which is unexpected for Martin. When he gets pole, you often think he's going to go with the leading group. He will finish on the podium, which looked like it would happen, but he dropped back towards the end. Brad Binder, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Top KTM, 12th, which doesn't sound amazing, but for what an awful weekend KTM had, he still managed to pull in some decent points. Alicia Spargaro, 6 out of 10 as well. Come from the highs of winning in Argentina to 11th in America. It shows that Aprilia and KTM aren't a fully developed package yet, even though they've won races this season. Quartararo, I gave him a 6.5 out of 10. Started 6th, finished 7th. Again, damage limitation for the defending champion.
You'd expect more from him, though.
I do expect more, but again, if you put him in retrospect against the other Yamahas, he's far outperforming them, probably far outperforming the bike, because everyone else is way back. Vinales, I gave him a 7 out of 10. He only finished 10th, but he beat Alicia Spargaro, which, in my opinion, and he had decent race pace when you look at his lap times. It's purely the qualifying in 14th, which I imagine wasn't helpful for Vinales, but beating Aleix, who's been on that bike since 2017 and has been the man developing it all these years, it's nothing, it's a big achievement to actually beat a teammate like Aleix, who has been with that team, and the team is almost built around nowadays.
Okay.
Pecco, I gave Pecco a 7.5. Started 3rd, finished 5th. I expected a little bit more from Pecco, but 5th place is his best result, his joint best from Argentina. So there's positive signs from Pecco now this season. Mir, I gave Mir an 8.5. Started 8th, finished 4th. Again, he makes his way up through the races. Again, qualifying lets him down a little bit. If the Suzukis could qualify on the front 2 rows, they'd probably be podiums every race, really, with how that race pace is, their 2 riders. Marquez, gave him a 9 out of 10. 7th to 24th to 6th. It was an incredible ride from Marquez. It just shows the talent he has, and like we said earlier, if he hadn't have had that start problem, he would have won the race. He would have run away with it. There would have been a full 25 points, I reckon. Miller, I gave a 9 out of 10 as well. 2nd to 3rd, I was impressed by Miller. Thought he was going to win it. Obviously, it looked like tyre problems came in, but Miller made the mature decision, which he hasn't made in the past sometimes, of actually just accepting 3rd. Old Miller would have thrown it down the bin, thrown it into the bin, fighting with Bastianini, but kept his cool, got himself a podium, which is good for Miller. Rins, I gave Rins a 10 out of 10. I wasn't expecting. I said Rins would get a podium, but if you compare Rins this season to last season, much better rider, looks completely different. Sylvain Gintoli said on BT Sport that he's pretty much guaranteed to stay with Suzuki next season as well. I was hard on Rins at the start of the season, but now my opinion on Rins is changing as he's looking more and more confident each round. Bastianini, a 10 out of 10 as well. It was a really good ride, classic Bastianini ride of sitting back in that group, sitting about 3rd, 4th for the early stages of the race, and then once again he's just managed to save something in his tyres and just went at the front towards the end.
All right. Interesting. Is an understatement to summarise that.
No, I catch all of that, to be fair.
There was a couple of really weird things in there. Lewis, your thoughts on those rider ratings? Bit weird. Do you agree, disagree? And what was absolutely ludicrous?
I agree with most of them, to be fair. The one I probably mostly disagree with is the Alex Rins 10 out of 10. Just because of it's always been a circuit that Rins has been extremely fast at. If I remember correctly, it's also where he got his first Moto2 victory. But it's always been a circuit that he's been fast at. I think we need to wait later on until we start getting circuits like Jerez and Le Mans, circuits that we've been at pretty much almost every single year, before we can properly judge on how comfortable he is on that motorcycle. The one I'm pretty much mostly agree with, 100% agree with, is the Alex Marquez being... Well, it was a dreadful race, been a dreadful season, and it was a dreadful season last year as well. It's such a strange thing that's happened to Alex Marquez and Taka Nakagami, because Alex Marquez had some great results in 2020 on the Repsol Honda, and he was looking to be a superstar in the next couple of seasons. But as soon as he went to the LCR team, it's mainly staying on the bike that's his issue, and now it looks like it's got to him so much that it's ruined his confidence, and he's not got qualifying pace either.
Okay.
They missed Cal Crutchlow. They haven't had a good result since Cal left.
Well,
he's not wrong.
That might be the thing, but it seems like, Luke, those rider ratings... Jay, do you agree that they were sort of... I get the feeling that Luke had prejudged how everybody should do, based on his own opinions of them, and then judged their actual performance from his own impressions of how they do, and then judged some of those rider ratings from there. I think there was who did you say was like really high up, and was it Martin? I think. What did he give for Martin, Luke?
5.5.
Right.
Average.
But he finished 8th.
That was an extremely good qualifying lap, so you have to get some points for that. I mean, that was ballistic.
Yeah.
Okay. What Jay? Do you overall agree, disagree? What would you have said differently?
I agree that like the Rins one, I don't agree it was that high. It was very good with Rins, and I think you're going the way Rins, like as last year Rins, if he had actually stayed on in those races that he crashed in last year, Rins, he would have been championship contender. And this year he's getting those results where last year he would have crashed. So at the moment, the way the championship looks at the moment, I can't see Bastianini doing this all season, sadly. But I can see Rins doing this all season if he keeps getting good results when he can and chuck a few wins into there now and again. I think he's going to be right there at the end of the championship. So at the moment, the way the championship looks, I think Rins has got to be one of the favourites for it. So
let us know. Get in touch.
Experience at the front,
if you tuned in, downloaded the show, maybe listening on a podcast from a favourite podcast provider. Do you agree with Luke's rider ratings? Would you have given a 10 out of 10 for Rins in that circuit of the Americas Grand Prix, the Red Bull Grand Prix of the Americas, actually, in MotoGP at the weekend? Get in touch. Have your say. Do you have an alternative rider ratings that you keep track of? Because Luke's been keeping track of his season so far, basically adding up all the different scores and different points. Have you done that? Have you updated the total championships or the alternative Luke's rider rating championships spreadsheet?
I did, and I think it's a Suzuki 1-2 at the moment between Rins at the top and Mir just behind.
Wow, someone like Suzuki. Okay.
They've just been very consistent all season. You can't knock them with how they've done.
Well, you can.
Well, they haven't really, when you look at them, had a bad result this season. Not like they've
How many races have they won?
None yet, but when you look at the championship compared to others, they've been very, very consistent. And if they keep it up, they are championship
Everyone remembers the end of the season, Leicester, not the start of it. So if they just get these good results for now and they start winning at the end, you're going to think they're amazing.
Exactly. And I mean, to be fair, going off what everyone else's opinion of Alex Marquez is, you might say, well, he's been quite consistent so far as well.
Consistently crashing, yeah.